just the other one, do you see any like natural cyclicality to categories, like maybe away from apparel towards something else?
First,
Pop-up stores.
oh,
You know, I've done many stores on
here
pop-ups.
you go. Erica's going.
Pop-ups are, I think that's going to be a major trend in the future. These are these stores that they can come in and test the water. So if you are I mean, they run the gamut in concepts, but it's a very viable way for many retailers who are hesitant in this current environment to come in, get a lot of publicity because they pop up, lots of fanfare, see how it's doing, and then maybe they expand out from there. But I guess it's sort of a guerrilla trend at this point, not really a widespread. But I think I personally.
I mean, the other comment, I've seen some of that. I'd say we in the business for a long time always had something called temporary tenants. And we actually usually had someone in charge at the company.
Halloween stores?
That's right. Who did nothing more than temporary tenant leasing, which maybe is absolutely similar to a pop-up. It may not have all the fanfare, but it could be a Halloween store. It could, or it could be a shop that a new owner that just was trying out a new concept, and we would incubate it. And what was great about temporary tenants is that a percentage of temporary tenants would become permanent tenants if the business flourished, and we wanted it. And so we were incubating tenants. So pop-ups to me is kind of a new flashy concept, but part of a long-term trend, which is a very important trend on how you create retailers. Because as owners, we want to make sure there are more and more retailers in our space. And the second question?
Do you see any category growing?
Well, the biggest issue there is categories that go away. Right? I mean, books, records. It's a sad day when you start thinking about Barnes and Noble.
Right.
You know, it's now looks. I mean, everybody must have read. Microsoft is investing $300 million. They're going to make it, into a digital company, right? That's what's going to happen because the bricks and mortar just don't work anymore. So the internet, which is really a significant issue now. I will tell you that we put out a report last year, we're updating it now, where if you took internet and catalog and television, it was 20% of GAFO, general apparel, furniture, and other, which is the category of merchandise. That's a big number. That was for 2010. That number in 2000 was about 8 or 9%. So it was almost a double over the 2000s, and that's the biggest trend that I know affects retailers. The other big trend affecting retailers is how on social media do you get the merchandising out there. I mean, Facebook, if it were a country, is like the third biggest country in the world. There are like 900 million people on Facebook. Burberry right now sells as much on Facebook as they do in their stores. It's an amazing trend. We actually have a chart that I'm working on now because I'm giving another presentation in May at ICSC in terms of how the retailers are trending towards social media. So it's not just the internet. It's this amazing. There are guys out there and ladies out there who are really smarter than I am. First they create a way to hook up to the internet, and then they create a way for 900,000 people to hook up to one site and get your message across. It's an amazing phenomenon. So I think that's the more important. Who's going away?